Hey guys, welcome back to Ed's Garage 2.0, the how-to channel. Today I'm going to show you how to replace your inner tie rod on your Rivian. And the reason I'm doing this is because I had a little bit of a mishap on the trail.
Come on. Whoa, whoa, stop. That's not right. Back up.
Where I not only chewed the hell out of this wheel rim, but I also bent and then snapped the tie rod. And I've got a bit of a trick up my sleeve to save a whole slew of money. Obviously, this isn't going to get covered by Rivian's warranty, so I've got to do it myself. Now, I managed to drive this all the way home with a broken tie rod. Let me show you how I did this. So underneath, you can see I've got ratchet straps. I've got my jack bars, and even got the lug wrench all being strapped all together and holding all of this together. And that's how I managed to successfully drive it about 50 kilometers off-road on dirt and then about another 25 kilometers on pavement at low speeds with my hazards on. You can see here's the steering rack coming out. And that's the inner tie rod right there that we need to take off. And then, of course, the outer tie rod over here underneath all this stuff. So I'm going to pull all of this off, take the wheel off, and show you what it looks like. All right, so you can see another angle here. And the bars there. I've already loosened these, but check this out. So we had one of the hooks from the one of the ratchet straps hooked around the end of the steering rack here, against the ball joint thing of the tie rod, and it's just hanging on for dear life. It's just got one end hooked. This basically was kind of wrapped around right here, kind of like this, and it just kind of bent into that position there. So yeah, bit of a mess, but hey, got me home. All right, now I need to work on getting all this crap off. Just while I'm working on getting this off here, I quickly address the elephant in the room here. Yes, these are the 14 mil tie rods. Unfortunately, this is the Gen 1 Rivian R1T, and in Gen 2 they actually upgraded the tie rods to 16 mil thick to increase their strength. So I could swap out the inner and the outer tie rod end to make this all a little bit stronger, but I'm not going to, because I don't actually mind breaking a tie rod if I have a spare with me. So the plan is to always carry a spare tie rod with me, because these aren't necessarily that difficult to swap out. And you'll see that in a bit. Basically, turn this to loosen it, and then the other end just comes off by unthreading from the outer tie rod, if all goes well. All right, quick aftermath. So there's the hook that was hanging on for dear life. See, the ratchet straps themselves are pretty banged up, torn up. I definitely bent some of these jack pipes, but I can just straighten those out again. That shouldn't be an issue. I literally used all three and bent all three. And then what really actually held on the best, obviously, was the lug wrench bar thing. All right, so here's what we're working with. This piece right here is actually a tube from there's a Nissan Pathfinder that's flipped over in the bush right where I broke this, and oh, look, it bent there too. Anyway, this is part of the rear hatch gas strut, and the plan was basically to slide this over the existing bit of the inner tie rod and then over the existing bit of the outer tie rod, well, actually over the remainder of the inner tie rod threaded end here. So basically it broke right here, obviously, but this nut was all the way here and it was all the way in. So it'd be pretty easy for me to figure out roughly where the new one has to line up. Anyway, next step, there are flat spots, one on either side of this part here, which need to be turned to get this off. Obviously, I'm going to need to replace the boot as well, because that's wrecked now. In order to get to the back side of this little thing here, I don't know what you call this, ball stud. In order to get to the back of it, I had to cut away the boot, and now the boot's just kind of wrecked, so that'll have to come out as well. I've already got that clamp removed on the back side, so I can't really show you that, but basically there's a clamp that goes on the end here and holds it onto the steering rack. Oh man, okay, I need two hands. Fairly new trucks, so they're pretty clean. It's just a matter of getting this off now. That's good and bent. So apparently these tie rods are 348 millimeters long. And that gave me some ideas. There we go. Off. Pretty easy. All right, so there is our broken tie rod. So we've got an M16 1.5 thread over here and an M14 1.5 thread over here. And apparently, I haven't actually measured it yet, but I believe this is 348 millimeters long, or 35 centimeters roughly. So, gotta replace that. All right, so I can't get the part that I need yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this welded back together just to move the truck out of the garage, 'cause it's gonna take a day or two to get the parts I need. All right, it is a new day. As you can see, it is raining. I got the truck back in the garage here. Still has the welded tie rod end on it, and I've got some parts. They finally came in. And here are the parts. So I've got to unbox them still, of course, but these are gonna be the tie rod ends, and these are the inners. Now, that looks really long. All right, I'm not 100% sure if this is gonna work. The reason being is because these are not parts meant for this truck. As a matter of fact, the inners are meant for a Dodge Sprinter van or a Mercedes Sprinter van, and the outers are made for a Ford Expedition. Now, I did a ton of research online, well, not research, but reading on the internet and searching and looking and finding as much as I could about what particular parts could potentially be combined to be used on the Rivian. Basically, I narrowed it down to these because I had gotten to a point where I wasn't finding an inner tie rod that was 16 mil on the inside and 14 mil on the outside, other than for a GMC Terrain and a 1998 Hyundai Sonata. They had the pretty much exact same length inner tie rods with the same inner and outer thread size. However, they're a little bit harder to get, and they wouldn't be an upgrade. As a matter of fact, they'd probably be a downgrade, because any parts that I find will probably just be too weak for a 7,000 pound vehicle. So I decided to start looking for an upgrade. So I went 16 mil inner and 16 mil on the outer, and of course 16 mil on the outer tie rod end as well. The other thing to note was that the taper on the seat of the ball joint here had to be the same as well. So this is a 45-degree taper angle and a 14 mil bolt, but I believe the nut and bolt thread is different. I think these are a 2.0 rather than a 1.5 thread. So the nut can't be used from the truck. I have to use the new one, which is fine, obviously. So this is shorter than the one that's on the Rivian, and the inner is longer. So hopefully combined, they make the right length. All right, so slight bit of bad news. Unfortunately, the combo of the inner and outer tie rod is a little bit too long. It's about 19 millimeters too long, or about just under an inch, about 3/4 of an inch actually. So thankfully, that's still well within safety limits. I am going to cut off a little bit of the inner and a little bit of the outer tie rod, but before I do that, I'm actually going to rethread a bit more of the outer tie rod to see how much more will actually sink into, how much more of the inner will actually sink into the outer tie rod, because right now it doesn't screw all the way in. So I'm just going to rethread a little bit, not rethread, but thread a little further into the outer tie rod, and see if I need to cut off that much. Because if I can get away with cutting off a smaller amount, then obviously I'm going to do that. But it's still well within safety. Even if I cut off an inch, I've got about 1.5 inches, a little bit over 1.5 inches of thread engagement still. So that's plenty safe. All right, well, I've bottomed out my tap tool or die. I don't know which is which. It's as far as it's gonna go though. It's basically just a sudden stop right there. So I guess it just gets really narrow in there or something, I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and now thread in, well, after cleaning it, I'm gonna go ahead and thread in the inner tie rod and just see if I gained anything. I think I cut maybe an extra 3 or 4 threads, so that would equate to about, I don't know, roughly 1/8 of an inch. And like I said, every little bit helps. So we'll see how much that helped. All right, so in order to get the cleanest cut possible, I've gone ahead and put a piece of tape around it. I am not going to cut this with a machine. I'm going to use a hacksaw. Hopefully I can cut through this relatively easily. I put the tape around it so I get a nice clean straight cut. I've got the piece of wood sticking out here actually to help guide the blade and stop it from wiggling around too much while I go through this. So hopefully that helps. So roughly about here is where it stopped before, because I did take off a 1/2 inch. So let's see how much further we can get now that that 1/2 inch is removed. Now I am expecting it to bottom out here. Yeah, right about there is where it bottoms out. So gained a little bit, but not enough. I still need to take a 1/2 inch off of this now in order for it to actually go in a little bit further. But even that should be plenty, because this, yeah, I don't know, I gotta remeasure it. All right, so I've got the bits cut off on both sides, about a 1/2 inch on both sides. I've got it installed just sort of temporarily. It's not super tight right now. The jam nut had about 2, maybe not 2, maybe 1 full turn before it jammed up against the outer tie rod. So there is no further inner adjustment on this. So if it is currently toe out, I need to cut more off. If it's toe in, perfect. I have a little bit of room for adjustment still. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the tire back on, put it into standard drive height, take it for a drive around the block, and just have a look at the wheels and see if they're toe in, toe out. If they're aligned, then that's great, but I don't think so. I'm guessing that I probably need to take about another 1/4 inch off of both sides, but we'll see. All right, so having a look at this one, you can see that it is currently turned outwards. The steering wheel is straight, and this one is also turned outwards. Not nearly as much though. So unfortunately, that means that this wheel is still too far out and needs more adjustment in, which it can't because the tie rod is too long, so I need to cut more off. Yay! So I decided to have a quick look at the passenger side, and as you can see, there's actually quite a bit of adjustment left to go toe in on the passenger side. So this should actually work now that I've cut some off that other side. I mean, technically, I can pull the steering wheel off and realign it in a different position. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut off a little bit more because I don't wanna mess with this, because this currently is lined up with the steering wheel straight. So I wanna see if I can get that side close enough that it's aligned with a piece of string, and then I can always take it to an alignment shop to finish things up, and they can center the steering wheel if need be, because they generally will do that as part of an alignment. So, but we're getting close. So we're gonna take off a little bit more to sort of the absolute max that I can take off, which isn't gonna be much. I've got a tiny bit of wiggle room left. And if that doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to pull the steering wheel and recenter it, because I can just pull some adjustment off the passenger side. So, but the good news is that this is working with these parts, although it does take a little bit of labor to clean them up and shorten them. Now, there are companies that do sell universal tie rods that you can actually cut yourself. So that would be another option as well, of course. But let's see how much more we can pull out of this tie rod. Okay, all done cutting, cleaning it up. So I've taken in total about 7/8 of an inch off of the tie rod inner and about an inch off of the outer. And now I think I've actually got really good adjustability. So coming around to the passenger side, if we have a look down, we can see that it is currently in a little bit. And if we come around to the driver's side, you can see that it's in a lot. So I've got good adjustability now. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it back down to standard ride height, drive it around a little bit and check the alignment again. All right, I just got back from a very, very short drive. I went maybe 100 feet down the road because it is super wonky. The toe in is very excessive right now. So I definitely need to go out on that side, on the driver's side, which means we have some success. So that tie rod should work now. Now, there is one small caveat. The ball joint, the stud ball joint, ball stud on the inner connected to the rack does not have as much articulation, which means when you're at full extension, so if you're in the maximum ride height and one of the front wheels is off of the ground, that means that that tie rod is going to be kind of overextended by a little bit, by about a 1/4 inch at the outer end, which means it's going to put a little bit of pressure on it. It's not too bad, and quite frankly, the chances of that happening are pretty slim anyway, because you're literally going to have a tire in the wheel for that to in the air for that to happen. Wow. And you're going to have to be at max height, so it should be okay, but I guess only time will tell. All right, with a little bit of eyeball alignment, check it out. The vehicle is traveling in a straight direction with the steering wheel straightened. Excellent. Look at that. It might be off slightly, but it's good enough to drive it to an alignment shop now. All right, so I'm just doing a full reset now because the steering angle appears to be correct. Full reset is required in order to sort of reset everything, because the steering angle was so far off that the truck actually got a service engine light, basically a service soon light, and it wouldn't let me go beyond about 75-80 kilometers an hour. And that's just because if it thinks that the steering angle is off, that means that the alignment must be off, which it obviously was. So now that the alignment is good enough for the vehicle to track straight, and I just did that by eye. I basically stood in front of the vehicle and just kind of moved side to side with one eye open, looking down from the front tire to the back tire and making sure that the back tire disappeared behind the front tire, both the front half of the front tire and the rear half of the front tire. Very hard to explain, but suffice to say it's the cheap and dirty way of doing a wheel alignment. Obviously, I'm going to go get a wheel alignment now, but at least the tie rod's on and it fits, and now I just need to put a boot on it. As a matter of fact, taking off that extra 1/2 inch on the outer side and the extra 3/8 of an inch on the inner side meant that the amount of inward play that I had was increased to about from nothing to about 3/8, which is awesome. So there actually is a little bit of inward play now, which is great. All right, well, there you have it, guys. It's got the old boot on it. I need to replace it, but whatever. That can come later. And of course I need to get a wheel alignment. So, but I am going to end the video there. This was relatively successful. I think it will be stronger than the old system. If you guys have any questions, by all means, don't forget to comment below and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.